Welcome, Ira Coiner here, President and founder of Triathlon Partners. In this episode, we will discuss structured notes. The equity markets have been volatile this month. A combination of domestic and international political and economic events precipitated a large sell-off in stocks. Excessive market volatility can lead to rash and emotional short-term decisions that can drastically affect long-term goals. Triathlon Partners understands the anxiety volatile markets cause, and to limit emotional decisions, we employ strategies that reduce exposure to this volatility. Many strategies that limit potential losses also restrict the profitability of portfolios. Structured notes are a solution that do not necessarily limit profitably. What are structured notes? It is a contract that outlines the terms of an investment. The investment return is based on the performance of an asset. Structured notes are held for a specific period of time. The profit loss of the note is based on two things. One, the value of the underlying asset on the day the note was bought. And two, the value of the underlying asset on the last day of the note. The increase-decrease in the price of the asset determines the profit loss of the note. It is not necessarily a linear relationship, and every note has its own specific payout terms and profile. Let's discuss the details of an actual structured note. The underlying asset is the S&P 500 and the holding period is for 5 years. The note offers a hard buffer of 25% and an upside participation of 1 times uncapped. What are a hard buffer and upside participation? A buffer is the protection the note offers, and the term hard describes the buffer. A 25% hard buffer protects the value of the note for the first 25% loss in the S&P 500. For example, if after 5 years the S&P 500 is down 10%, the note will return 100% of the original investment. If the S&P 500 is down 40%, then 85% of the original investment will be returned. Of the 40% loss, 25% is protected by the buffer, and the remaining 15% is deducted from the principal. Any loss greater than 25% reduces the amount of principal returned. The upside participation on this note is 1. The note appreciates the same percentage as the S&P 500. The term uncapped means there is no limit on the return. If the upside participation on a note is 2, then for every 1% move in the underlying asset, the note would return twice the amount, so in this case 2%. A cap limits the return of a note. Buffers and upside participation are properties that are favorable to investors. Investors are sometimes willing to purchase notes with caps as they feel the buffers and upside participation are more valuable. Let's review the profitability of the asset and the note. If the S&P 500 is positive after 5 years, the note and the asset have the same appreciation as the upside. Participation is 1 times and there is no cap. If the S&P 500 is negative, the note performs better than the asset. The hard buffer protects the note's value for the first 25% loss in the S&P 500, while the asset does not have protection. The note seems to be the better investment. However, there are additional factors to consider. The S&P 500 pays a quarterly dividend, but the structured note does not. The note has credit risk, and the payment is subject to the issuer's ability to pay the proceeds, which isn't a risk in the S&P 500. To maximize the return of the note, it has to be held for 5 years. This is not a constraint on the S&P 500 investment. Congratulations, you now have a basic understanding of structured notes. They have the unique ability to help minimize losses and increase returns. Triathlon Partners' role as your advisor is to engage, educate, and empower. Our goal is to provide you with the knowledge to make a confident decision that best fits your objectives. Contact us at triathlonpartners.com for more information. This is Ira Coiner wishing you a blessed and wonderful day.